Paul Renhard and Dave Gilbank have been writing effective radio commercials for over 20 years. In that time, they've won a bucket load of awards and made a lot of clients very happy.
The first thing I do when I'm writing a radio commercial or copywriting for a radio commercial is I kind of do what they, in movies, in screenplay writing, they have a term called writing a log line. And that's kind of what I do with a radio commercial. I write a log line, and by that I keep it really, really simple, and I condense the brief down into one sentence.
You always go back to the brief. So the first thing you do is look at the brief, and you know, you need to get, before you start putting your fingers on the keyboard, the first thing you have to do is be clear in your mind, clear in your own mind what it is you're trying to say. If you're not clear what you're trying to say, then you haven't got a hope in hell of actually saying it, of actually communicating to anybody.
I don't know, ask Paul. Well, my process for writing that, and that does sound a little bit pretentious, but I guess what I do is I try and write, say, 3 or 4 ideas, or I write 3 or 4 sort of couple of words that sort of say what the idea is. So for instance, say if it was a half price sale, I might say, you know, something that's quite straight down the line, which is very simple and focused on that half price sale. Or I might do, say, for instance, like I say, the magician cutting in half a sale. And then I might sort of say, somebody might be shorter than somebody who's taller, and they might be half the price. So I just write 3 or 4 different ideas, and then I'll find one that might be good.
A lot of writers make the mistake of focusing on things that aren't really important. You know, like a funny product name, or a funny client name, or a strange location. You get copywriters who will make a big deal about the fact that the business is hard to find. Well, that's not really a benefit. That's actually a negative. Don't be dealing with that. Just focus on what the benefit is. Make sure the creative comes out of that. So if they're fast, the idea's got to be reinforcing the fact they're fast. If they're cheap, the idea's got to be reinforcing they're cheap. If they give great service, then the idea's got to reinforce the fact they give great service. And ideally, in that ad, you've got to substantiate those claims somehow.
That's an important tip, is to always read your commercial out to yourself and read it out to somebody else. Don't let them read your script, particularly when you give it to clients, when you're presenting to clients. Don't just give them a script to read, perform it out. And because everyone loves a bit of performance, and everyone loves a bit of, some idiot kind of making, embarrassing themselves to you, but act it out, act the script out, do a bit of theatre, and let them hear how you think it's going to come across on the radio. And I think that's quite an important thing.
His approval means so much to me. To hear Dave say that, honestly. First of all, you've got to understand what you mean by the word good. Define your terms. Good. Good for who? Good for the client. Good for the listeners. Good for the writer. And if you're talking about the client, and chances are we probably are talking about the client. What do we mean by that? What does the client understand by that? If you don't understand what the client's expectations of good are, then you're on a hiding to nothing. So it's really important you understand what they believe a good ad is, and it's also important that you then have a dialogue with them and make sure that they understand what's achievable, because they may want the world and all you can give them is scunthorpe.